This program is proudly brought to you by Telecom Limited and Daytech.
In this session of InFocus, we speak to TISA Group's Chief Executive Officer Michael Koisen and the new TISA Bank Chief Executive Officer Sunil Pulkare about TISA Group's history, its rebranding exercise, and the products and services it offers. Mr. Michael Koisen and Mr. Sunil Pulkare, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Firstly, Mr. Koisen, could you give us a brief background and history of TISA?
Sure. So TISA was established in 1972. It was established by the Papua New Guinea Teachers Association, a small handful of teachers who wanted to help each other in their financial needs. Because at a particular point in time, before independence, the mainstream banks, the two banks that were here, three, I beg your pardon, unfortunately, they were not able to assist Papua New Guineans, particularly with their customary obligations, bride price, funeral expenses. Those were things at the time the banks didn't understand. So they set up this teacher savings and loan society to be able to assist themselves. In the event that there was a death in a family, they would all put money together to support that member. And it went around. And then it developed into them buying washing machines and sewing machines and those sort of things, white goods that helped them improve their qualities of life for those ordinary Papua New Guineans then. So that's the history. And it grew and became something that's quite big. And I think our forefathers at the time didn't see that it was going to grow to be the size it is today.
Under your rebranding exercise, you've launched a new logo. Could you tell us why this was a fitting logo for your organization?
The Bilum is uniquely Papua New Guinea. And this organization is an indigenous Papua New Guinean organization owned by ordinary Papua New Guineans. That's why the Bilum is fitting. Also, we use the Bilum to carry everything. From our children to our garden produce, anything that is of value to us goes in the Bilum. And that's why we thought, the board of Teacher Savings and Loan Society thought that the Bilum is an appropriate logo for this organization that is uniquely Papua New Guinea. In the middle of the Bilum, when you look at the logo, you'll see there's a yellow band. And that's appropriate because it represents the Kina shell that we fitted into the logo. That's why we think it's appropriate.
Mr. Pulkare, how does the TISA Bank intend to tailor its services to accommodate the largely unbanked informal sector and drive financial inclusion?
In fact, that's pretty good questions, I must say, because we're in the country where you have 75%, if not more, unbanked populations and as well as underbanked populations. And if you look at the TISA, the way we establish ourselves, because this is a mutually owned company where you have 85,000 now members. They own the TISA banks or TISA Teacher Savings and Loan Society. And one of the agenda for having a bank is to serve these people which are unbanked populations. So if you look at the foundations for the TISA banks, definitely it's coming from those segments which are not getting the banking services that they deserve. And they decided, okay, we need to have a bank here. Okay. And so we are coming from that side. And definitely the TISA banks, the way I see and the plan that we have is we're going to focus more into this particular segment. And not only that, in that particular segment, there's a significant amount of money lying, which is not in the banking channels. And one of the newspapers recently published around 15 billion skinas lying in unbanked sector. And at the same time, there's a big opportunity for the bank like us because we're going to be more focused into that particular areas. And to cater their needs, the plan that TISA Bank has, because we are going with the agency banking, because we need to increase our footprint, we need to be at their doorstep, then only we'll be able to bring them in. And that's the way we should be doing it. we are going to have our 18 branches serving the customer, but that's not going to, that won't be sufficient for us to manage or serve this customer of that huge populations. So agency banking is one of the critical factors that's going to make a lot of difference to us. We're waiting approval from central bank. As soon as we'll get the approval from central bank on agency banking, we'll roll it out. So some of the product that we have designed, if you look at our website as well, you'll find that some of the product has been designed targeting these customers only. I'll give you an example. We call that easy savings accounts, right? It's like you can open account with a 5 kina only, with low KYC requirement. That category shows that we want to cater this entire segment. And we have got another product which is UMI accounts, UMI savings accounts, where the customer is going to get interest on their deposits, as well as there's a transfer accounts. And to open accounts is required only 10 kina. So that clearly shows that we are very much into that particular segments of the customer, because we're going to be there with our agency banking network. That's going to be there. Apart from that, definitely the branch footprint that we're going to have, so that we can serve on the, especially in the financial inclusions, whatever you can do it. Definitely one bank cannot do entire things. That's not going to happen. But definitely we're going to do our piece, and we're going to make a difference on that area.
Now, Mr. Khoisan, given the origins of given your origins from a savings and loan society to now a bank, how do you intend to balance these two aspects of your business?
So our origins as an SNL and our purpose was to improve the quality of lives of our members. And that's been our DNA and our culture. Coming into a bank, we want to carry the culture into the bank, where we are caring about our people. The catch cry for the bank is banking on change. And we want to ensure that the DNA and culture of the Teacher Savings and Loan Society continues in the bank. It's caring for our people, and the products and services we provide primarily will be to improve the quality of lives of our people, our customers, shareholders, and the communities in which we operate. Very important that we stick to that. Profit is important as well, but it's not our purpose. Our purpose is to look after our people, improve their lives, and profit is only a product of purpose.
Definitely, I'll go with the prospect of emerging market, because PNG is also emerging market. And our strategy is very, the way we articulate our strategy is we're focusing into what's required in the emerging market. And in the country where you have huge unbanked populations, where mobile penetration is, especially smartphone penetration, is as low as 20% or 22%. So definitely it's going to increase is in next couple of years time, with that we understand. But at the same time, because we need to serve the customer from today, because we already open our shop for our customer. And digital is one of the enabler for emerging market that I've seen in many countries where I work in the past. And definitely digital piece, including your mobile banking, or here the popularly known as USSD, and even agency banking will be part of your entire digital ecosystems that I'm referring to. So our focus will be, as I said in earlier, because our intention is to go on the financial inclusions, right? So we're going to look at what exactly they need, okay, for their needs. So there will be different segment of the customer. Definitely there will be some of the customer who can afford to use a smartphone, and they will be able to use mobile banking app. The bank is going to launch its app very soon, most likely next week. We'll have mobile banking apps launch, so that those segment of the customer can do it. For those who doesn't have a smartphone, only using a feature phone, they can always use USSD platforms. It's always there. Apart from that, you will have WhatsApp bankings, where the person can do a transaction using even WhatsApp. Apart from that, we have a chatbot, where you can go to a website and start doing your transition using a chatbot as well. So these are the digital platform that we're going to use it. In the future, definitely we're going to bring something new to the country, which is not here as of now, but which is very much popular in the emerging market. And one of that is QR, because I think the QR is the future for the country. So we strongly believe in. We have seen that working in different geography and similar size of country. So I think that's going to make a big difference in this country. Hopefully, I'm going to launch that QR very soon in very limited, or I'll call it that is in a very closed loop. We're going to launch that QR very soon. So these are things going to bring, but definitely we are not going to stop in only a couple of products. You'll see the new products in the new year. We're going to bring some of the new products in the country. And but at the same time, we're mindful about the way our customer segments are, because we're not catering only one segment, because we always say this TISA Bank is bank for all. So we need to consider the entire segment of the market. It's not like one niche market where you're going to have only set of product and say, no, I'm going to focus in that. No, we're going to focus in all segments. So you're going to have all these kind of products is already lined up, and we're going to launch starting next week. Yes, we do have product. In fact, we're very much open for SME loans, because I think this country needs to grow in the SME, and that's where the focus of the government is as well. And we also see there's significant demand for the SME loans in the country. And at the same time, whether it be SME or MSME, the issue is because they don't have access to finance, or even they are getting a finance which is what they require is not what they're getting, which means they're underbanked in a sense. Because if any SME, if they need to thrive, they need, let's say, I'm just giving examples, 100,000 kina, but they're getting like 50,000 kina only, because the banks doesn't want to take any risk. So that's one of the issues that we have identified. So for them, we need to have a tailored product, because we need to understand what kind of business they're in. I know in the country like this, in emerging economies, you cannot expect all the SMEs or MSMEs to provide you all the documents of financial projection. That's not what happens. It's going to take some time for them, because it's going to, over a period of time, they'll start learning about it. But it doesn't mean that they can be deprived of any financial access to finance. So our product for MSMEs targeting is going to be very simplified product that are going to launch for them. So they don't need to, we're not going to rely on their cash flow statement or financial statement per se. And for SMEs, it's going to be very, very simple products that we already have, and where we are serving some of the SME customer, we already start onboarding the customers as well. So as we go, definitely we're going to launch some of the products designed to especially with those segment of the customer as well, and including some of them, including maybe supply chain finance, including targeting those customers who are supplying to the large corporates. We'll just tie up them and start financing with them, and we'll make the finance very, very easy for them. But definitely for the genuine customer, but not the person with having a very default mindset, willful defaulter, no. But for the genuine customer, definitely we're going to be their best partner or the right partner.
Good question. So the Global Alliance for Banking on Values is an alliance that's made up of banks in 40 countries, across Europe, the United States, Africa, Australia, and we're the first ones in the South Pacific to join that alliance, because it fits in with our values and principles as a bank. The values and principles of the Global Alliance for Banking on Values is to look after the planet, people, and the prosperity of people as well. So that fits in very well with us. Our products will be designed to do good, not only to help our communities develop economically, but also to do good for the communities. So we won't be bringing out products that support unsustainable logging practices, unsustainable fishing, or anything that does harm to the human. Those we do not get involved in.
Oh, that's a very interesting questions. And then that's the obvious answer is in a country with a huge unbanked population is financial literacy. Okay, that will be the major challenge for any bank for that matter, not only for the TISA. And apart from financial literacy, now the things are moving to digital literacy because people need to know how to use USSD and how to prevent the frauds, because a lot of frauds is going to happen because as soon as you open up the digital channels, that's going to happen. So that will be one of the major challenges for any bank for that matter. And definitely for us, it's going to be one of the biggest challenges because we're targeting that particular segment. And the financial literacy, I think that will be the major challenge apart from digital literacy. So for that reason, we're going to work very closely with our TISA foundations. The TISA also has a TISA foundation. We're going to work with them and we'll be partnering with them on the financial literacy campaigns as well, because this is where we need to put a lot of efforts as a bank, as a TISA bank, not only the TISA bank, as an entire, all the banks need to put a lot of efforts on that. So for me, if you ask me, I think the financial literacy and digital literacy is going to be a major challenge. Apart from there is no challenge because the rest, the business is there, huge on-bank population sitting there. Okay, the only to make them aware that okay, this is the right product for you and this is what you're going to do it. And so if you're going to crack that, I think we're done.
We're looking forward to a bank that's going to make it easier for them in terms of our processes. And that's in progress. We want to make banking experience for our Papua New Guineans easier, enjoyable, and affordable. Convenient affordability and accessibility to make that for our people. We are concerned about the queues outside many bank branches. We want to see if we can help reduce those queues by good service and reach out to many Papua New Guineans as we can in helping them to come into the banking sector and utilize banking services. One thing that's important, I think, that I perhaps didn't answer earlier in terms of our relationship with the Global Alliance on Banking on Values is also we are concerned about climate and environment. So we will support environmental initiatives and initiatives that help with prevention of the climate issues. We are concerned about that as a business as well. And that's where we're going to help our people in our country.
Okay, I'll just say then what Michael just said. In fact, I always project TISA Bank is your bank. It's a bank for the Papua New Guineans. And definitely, they need to tell me what they need. We're here to serve them. And definitely, all the banking product that we're going to provide them is going to meet their needs. Not only that, even we want them to be more demanding. They should be asking more for the banking. It's not only the basic banking. They need more than the basic bankings. So, and we're very committed to deliver and meet their expectations as we move. And that is our expectation from the customer, because these days any banking or for that matter any business, that can only exist if we're going to hear from the customer what they needed. So we want to uplift their needs in a sense, because they should be much more demanding compared to, because they're happy with whatever they're getting it, and they shouldn't be happy. They should be asking more, and because they deserve more. And the banking here is very, very like we're doing a banking 10 years or 20 years back. Then it's exactly the same banking. The only difference is here you have got very advanced technologies that's there, but people need to be very demanding. They need to be very well versed about the banking terms and product features so that they can compare. And they're the one who should be asking the banks. They should be asking the banks, okay, we need these kind of products in the market. And we as a bank, we must be delivering those products. Otherwise, the bank doesn't exist. because it should be a customer-driven approach. It's not like the bank-driven. I want this product, you buy it or don't buy it. You don't have a choice. So we need to get out this monopoly mindset, and even the customer also need to get out from that monopoly mindset. But definitely, our customers are going to get one of the best service, which we're very much committed to. Apart from services, definitely the product features is going to be a better than, and will be very, very reasonable price bank. We're not going to charge them, or we're not going to overcharge them. That's what our commitment to this community where we operate.
We're a bank that cares about the people. We're a bank with a national agenda, and that's to serve our people. And like Sunil said, our people deserve better than what they're getting now. There's no reason for them to be standing outside queues. There's no reason for them to be paying high fees for banking services. And for our customers now and in the future, we want to be able to offer them something different, something that they can afford, and better service, because our people deserve that. They shouldn't be getting what they're getting now in terms of banking service to the communities. They deserve better than what they're getting. And because we're an indigenous bank, we will go out of our way to ensure that our people get what they deserve in terms of banking services.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
This program was proudly brought to you by Telecom Limited and Daytech.